Wondering, what kind of, what could these UFOs be? Are there creatures in them? You know, so we're just going to look at facts. We're going to look at people's eyewitness testimonies, and we're just going to look at it with just a critical eye, without any kind of belief systems of any kind. Although, just look at the facts in general. That's all we're going to do. Nikola Tesla he was the one that invented anti-gravity technology as early as 1780s. No, 1870s he invented anti-gravity technology. And then in 1911 he invented the world's first flying saucer that could move at extreme speeds, right? So, the UFO technology, it's really man-made. It's just that Nikola Tesla never got any funding for it, for this anti-gravity technology. Because the government never funded him, nobody knows, everybody's forgotten about Nikola Tesla inventing anti-gravity technology. So when people see the anti-gravity technology of flying saucers or any kind of UFOs, they instantly think otherworldly, when it kind of isn't. It's just because people are ignorant to the history of it, you see. Haunted locations can sometimes be hotspots for UFO activities, like haunted woods, for example, where people have maybe experienced ghosts, things like that. So, but let's delve into the supernatural, see what could be going on in the supernatural. It might help shed some light on what's going on here. Okay, and now Dr. Jeffrey Long, he shows that he basically analysed people that had died in hospital. Basically the EEG, the electromagnetic machine that does the brain waves in the heart and things like that, it's usually shut down. The heart and the brain is usually shut down, so the person shouldn't be able to have hallucinations or dreams. But yet when they come back to life, they have a huge story to tell of life after death. He also says that it can't be false memories, because the only way you can have a false memory is for people to do repetitive suggestions on the person, to have them have a false memory. So it means that you would have to have millions of people around the world in every hospital using repetitive suggestions when the person wakes up, or comes out of the after being dead. So, I mean, it's not very reasonable, is it? And usually false memories are usually to do with small gaps of a memory, not entire huge stories as well. So that's just a bit of science of his analysis. He also says that people have experienced hell and hellish realm. He says that he's got enough evidence and proof that there has to be a hell under the earth, So we're going to be exploring that, and of course ancient cultures were aware, as well as in Christianity, aware of an underground location of a hellish place where creatures reside under and torture human beings, but they can't die down there. Now, one of the things, right, if you look at Bill Weiss, Mary Baxter, and Brian Melvin, like Brian Melvin, he saw like a lizard-like type of creature, a demon, part humanoid, part lizard, bipedal, walks on two legs. Bill Weiss, 13 feet tall, huge demons down in hell he saw. Reptilish in appearance, bipedal, incredible strength, he said, of them. They picked him up and threw him against a wall. He felt his bones breaking. He got ripped apart by the claws, and he says he couldn't understand why he was still alive. So that's just another example. He says the heat down there was unbearable. He couldn't move because the heat was just so incredible. He saw lots of spiders down, giant spiders and maggots and things like that, crawling all over skeletons that were in the fires down in hell. Then of course you've got Mary Baxter. She describes humanoid-looking creatures with hair all over their bodies and a bat's face. Some of the demons. Some of the demons have wings, broken wings. Brian Melvin, he also saw like a devil-like creature in his near-death experience. And it had red skin, and it looked like a typical devil. Mary Baxter also saw Satan, and he looked like a typical devil as well, with bull-like horns. So I'm just giving you some descriptions, and one of the interesting things that Brian Melvin said he saw was that the demons could move extremely quickly. They've got superhuman strength and superhuman speed as well. He says that they also have telepathic abilities. They can talk with their minds, and telepathic communication. So out of my research into what these creatures are like, is that they're usually part humanoid, part animal of some sort, or part reptile. They've got telepathic abilities usually, and they can move at they've got superhuman strength and superhuman speed. You've got like the Bigfoot creature. There was the Patterson and Gimlin film footage where it couldn't be a man in a suit, in a monkey suit, but you could see the classic signs of part humanoid, part animal, like that of an ape. When the experts analysed the footage, it couldn't have been a human in a monkey suit, because you could see the muscles underneath the hair moving in the right positions, like it was a really big bulky kind of creature. And they also could see that its arms were a lot longer than normal, and they could see the wrist bend, which means that a human being's arms are not long enough to fake that, And also Hollywood didn't have sophisticated costumes that could mimic that back then at the time of the film footage. It also had breasts as well in it as well, so it might have been a female type of creature. And also the footprints that they had found, and a forensic expert that deals with fingerprints, he analysed the footprints, and he says that there's ridge marks and toe prints, and he says that this is nothing like he's ever seen before, and he says he's analysed loads of casts, and he's realised that you couldn't fake this. It would be hard to fake this, because to fake the prints as well, because you would have to carve the prints out as well accurately. And he says that there has to be some kind of creature out there, so this is just, and of course they've got hair samples, DNA, and it's not that of an animal, it's not that of a human either, so it's like there's something odd about so there is physical evidence that there's some strange creatures that are out there. And of course from eyewitness testimonies, they said that they've seen the Bigfoot creatures running at an incredible speed and catching and closing in on a deer to catch a deer. Even for their size, they can run at extreme speed, and they've got unbelievable superhuman strength that they're able to throw boulders hundreds of yards away, and 100-pound boulders, according to David Paulides, and in his book, that people had witnessed seeing huge boulders being launched by them. So they've got superhuman strength, superhuman speed, and some people have experienced telepathic communication with them, just like the demons down in hell. Telepathic communication, superhuman strength, superhuman speed, part animal, part humanoid, just like the demons down in hell. See the connections there? What happened with the situation in Lizard Man is that the young boy, Chris Davis, he finished work just from McDonald's. He was driving home. His car gets a flat tire. It's at night time, the moon's out, the moon was quite bright at the time, and he gets out of his car, and because I've got the book there, and he changes the tire, and as he was putting the tire back into the back seat of the car, he sees something in the corner of his eyes moving through the field, and he notices that this is like this human person with glowing red eyes running towards him, so it was bipedal, you know, and it was running towards him, and he got in the car absolutely scared, and it jumped straight on top of his car. He drives off. He manages the creature falls off the car eventually, but then it runs back at his car again, and he's driving at 35 miles an hour. Remember, and the creature is running and catches up to his car. So it's got huge superhuman speed. So it can't be someone dressed in a suit. Because how can nobody can really run as fast as that, But they caught up with his car and jumped back on his car again. And he said that he saw there was damage done to the car. He said he could see the glowing red eyes, the claws on the creature, and it was a lizard-like kind of creature, just like the demons down in hell. You have some of the demons are lizard-looking. Some of them look like part reptile, and they've got claws, they can move at extreme speed. So that was his experience. So you can definitely see a demonic connection now. Winged humanoids as well, like at Point Pleasant. The Mothman Prophecy is a movie made about it. And again, there were some UFOs witnessed at the same area in Point Pleasant as well. That it seemed like UFOs were connected to the Mothman. But again, it's a humanoid. Some demons down in hell have got wings as well. This humanoid has been known to have wings. They noticed wings on it and glowing eyes. I think it had red eyes. Yeah, glowing red eyes. So and it can move in extremely fast pace, extremely quickly. It moves. So it's like they move like the way demons can practically move, but nobody knows what they are. So this was at Point Pleasant, at an area of an abandoned factory where they used to make ammunitions for World War II. And that's where the creature was, in that area. This abandoned building. And it traumatized the residents that saw it, the young people, and they had to go to therapy and everything to get help. So that it doesn't, they got to remember that if they were making this up, why would they go to a therapist for it? Why would you pay it money to? Because if you're going to fake something, why would you put yourself in a situation of a therapist and pay out money to a therapist to help you to cope with something that you did not experience? See when you look at it critically like that, it kind of just wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I think that the chances are very high they really did experience that. And of course, it's not just them, but there's been winged humanoid kind of creatures that look like one witness said that they saw one that looked like a gargoyle type creature, with wings out at night, So there's been lots of reports of people seeing devil or demon-like kind of creatures out in the wild.